Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 5 of Ramsey's Rockin' Roads. I think I got it right that time. Anyway, I'm excited about this episode. Our first special guest, I want to introduce Tim Claborn here. Tim Claborn, he's a Ramsey Asphalt, old Ramsey Asphalt alumni, plus now, exciting news, the owner of Apostle Asphalt Maintenance.
Yes.
There we go. So, Timmy, welcome to the show. This is exciting. You're out. So you're living in Tennessee.
Yes.
And you're out here for your sister-in-law's wedding.
My niece's
wedding.
Yeah,
Sorry. Niece's wedding. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Saturday. Nice, cool. Well, the reason I was excited to have you on is because a lot of the emails that I've gotten personally, a lot of the phone calls I've gotten personally, have been unanimously from guys that are just starting out.
Yes.
Guys that they have questions about. I mean, I've had guys asking questions about how do I approach customers, all the way from how do I approach customers to how do I figure out how much asphalt I need.
Yeah.
And I was
definitely.
and sometimes I say, well, man, if you need to figure out how much asphalt you need. Let's start slow here.
Yeah. Definitely.
So anyway, tell us about yourself. Tell us about, and I got some questions here if you don't mind, and then start out. Tell us about yourself.
I started out doing asphalt work when I was 19 years old. I got a job at the Santa Barbara County Road Department, and started as a laborer. And I think it was around maybe 2011. I was bumped up to heavy equipment operator there, and worked there for 3 more years. And that's when I left. I went to different companies. I went to work for you, and that's where I got a lot of my experience in paving. Mm-hmm. County, I was paving maybe 5,000 tons a year, and Scott is almost like 5,000 tons a week there at the end. So, I definitely got all my experience there, and then just throughout all the years that I've been doing stuff, and just having my hands in truck driving and fixing things and supervising.
Mm-hmm.
When I left Ramsey, I was a superintendent, and that's where I knew how to figure for asphalt, but that's where I really got to engage with customers and inspectors and read job details and running crews and stuff like that. So, I have about 16 years of just being the shovel guy all the way up to running the whole asphalt division. So, leaving Ramsey Asphalt, we went to go look for a good life over in Tennessee and work for somebody else. And you know what? Just Lord spoke to me one day and said, you should be doing this by yourself. So, that's where we got the Apostle at.
Nice. Well, no, that's good. Well, I said in I don't remember what episode it was, but I said in one of the episodes, I think it was in episode 1 or 2, I made the comment about, that's most of the time, that's how we start our businesses, is because we're sitting there working for, we're working for some a-hole, making them money. Like, well, why can't I work for this a-hole and make myself money?
I can't call my employer a-hole because he's sitting next to me. So.
Yeah.
But no, definitely. That's I think my last job, I started feeling that because I was finding the jobs. I was pretty much doing all the jobs, shoveling, running the equipment, and then getting the money. The only thing I didn't do was pay the bills.
So you were collecting the money even too?
Yeah, I was collecting the money. I was doing everything.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up, at that point, me and Ray looked at each other, might as well be doing it.
Well, you say,
yourself.
well, hell, why are you doing it yourself? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just something I never thought I could do, and just faith pushes you into it.
Yeah, we'll get into more in-depth questions on that. So, just so the audience knows, how long were you with Ramsey?
I don't know, 6 years? 5.5, 6 years, I want to say.
Okay, from 2015?
Yeah, 2015
to 21.
21.
Yeah. Okay, 6 years. Yeah. And then what were your roles? What were your roles when you were with me? Not that I don't know.
Yeah, no, you should tell me.
Yeah, why don't I tell you?
No, when you hired me, it was to be a foreman. So at the time, you didn't have a foreman for the asphalt crew. You're doing everything on the job, and I remember you explaining to me you're having a hard time because you had to do the same thing. You're doing the work and then find the work, and you're telling me how you're going through seasons where you'd go 2 weeks busy, and then you'd finish, and you're like, oh man, I don't have nothing else going on. So that's when you reached out, and we met, and you hired me so you could be full time finding us the work, and then I was pushing the work and running the paver and running the crews.
Oh, and that was so now. Okay, so I'm glad Timmy's here because now I'm remembering. So when you first started, we didn't even have. There was not even a superintendent role.
No. No, that's we
So
didn't get
it
a
was just
superintendent until maybe
way later on.
Yeah, it was like 3 years.
It
So I
was,
was with you
Michael.
for about, yep,
Michael.
Michael. Yeah.
And we laugh because that'll be another episode.
Yeah,
but
episode 16.
Yeah.
Calling it out right now.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So you were and then so yeah, we didn't even have a superintendent at that. So it was you're running jobs,
Yep.
running the paver,
And if you remember,
jumping
the
off,
reason why-
ordering trucks, call the plant.
Yeah, and that's
yell
you,
at the guys.
You felt bad for me because that's what I was doing. I was running the equipment. I was actually running the paver. I was running the crew. I was jumping off talking to customers. I was talking to inspectors, ordering the asphalt, dealing with the plant, and then you're like, man, we need somebody else, you know. So that's when you found Michael.
Yeah.
To help me out on the field because I told it we went from doing I think we're doing like 30-ton, 40-ton job paving driveways, but we're doing like 2 or 3 in a day. When I first started, and then it worked up to at that point we were doing like 400 or 500-ton driveways, and then also still doing like a 30-ton driveway after. But just all that added stress.
And 400 tons and then another 30
Yes.
tons? Come on.
Yes, there's a lot of times, or the Brian Joseph patches too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we get done with
those.
we get done with the hard days. Like, hey, funny boy, you got three more jobs to go do with the leftover asphalt. Hopefully, you have enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that's you got the superintendent around that time to kind of help with that. So
yeah.
But yeah, we had 2 superintendents, and then I think you finally wised up and said, you know what, go ahead, you're doing it.
Yeah,
so that's when you told me to just go ahead and jump the truck.
Well, and that was I remember having the conversation with you because one of the superintendents quit or we let go or something happened, and then I remember you came to me and said, "Hey Scott, what would it take for me to apply for the superintendent?" And I was like, "Well, Timmy, what about the paver?"
Yeah.
Well, I can teach Budro. He's almost there. Blah blah blah. And Budro is one of the guys that spent he's still with me.
At that time, he was 15 years with you.
Yeah, and so here we are.
Years at Ramsey.
20-something years now, and he and I have spent years and hours and hours. I mean, me and Budro. We burned through 1 Gilchrist paver, 1 Bomag paver, and 2 Lee boys, and so Budro's never had a new paver though yet, huh? Because you got the new paver.
That first 8510 that you bought was
I was still out there.
Yeah. Well, the one that you got, you had me come into the yard, and I was still foreman at that time. You said, "Hey, make sure you're at the yard at like 5 o'clock," and I was like, "All right, whatever, you know." And I got to the yard, and that's when Marvin came pulling in with that brand new boy.
Yeah,
and I was like,
okay.
"Oh man!"
So Budro never got
it was like Christmas came early.
He hasn't got a new paver yet. So then you came to me and said, "Hey, Budro's almost there. Let me take over superintendent, and then I'll get him up to speed where he needs to be."
Yeah.
And we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, because we pulled Budro over, and then that's when Hedda and Oscar, Oscar ran the roller, and I told you I could train them both on running the dummy side of the paver. So Budro had somebody, and that's what we ended up doing. And then the guys that run the Viber plates, Jose and Chivo and those guys, and we pulled them up on the roller. It was awesome. All the guys were happy because instead of having just one guy come ahead of us, we gave everybody a promotion at that time. So
no, that's right. And I will tell. This is some advice for Timmy with his new business, and this is something that I still take to this day. I've never had good luck. I mean, I've had some success, but I've never had exceptional success with hiring guys from other companies. All of the success that I've ever had, let's just call it the best outcomes I've ever had is promoting from within.
Mm-hmm.
If we can take a guy, tweak him a little bit, teach him, hey, you know, you got to figure this out. If you want the promotion, you want more money, you want more responsibility.
And I want to say
it's always.
And I want to say it's probably the caliber too. Like a laborer, somebody come from another company would be fine, but when you're looking at management, like a foreman or somebody that's going to really run the crew, if you have somebody coming in that don't really know the process of how that asphalt company works, that's when it starts getting mixed up because everybody knows how one way to do it. It's usually the way that Scott likes to do it. When you have somebody comes in and try to change everything, they're like freaking out because they don't want to be yelled at, and this guy's coming in. So I would definitely say when it comes to upper management, once you start bumping people up, it keeps a lot of happiness in the company.
The camaraderie continues. Yeah.
And not to mention, it gives that guy that's just started on the shovel that hope that maybe one day he'd be leading the crew.
Mhm.
So when everybody starts seeing promotion, then they're like, well, this is a good place to be because maybe one day I'll be that guy in that truck.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. No, that's good. Yeah. No, I've had the best results with hiring from within. So getting into your business now. So you touched on it a little bit, but what changed in your life to make you want to go out and start your own company?
I think just faith. When I moved to Tennessee, I really started. I found Jesus, and I started going to church, and I joined a discipleship group, and it just started pulling on my heartstrings. That's watching other companies operate. Sometimes working with other companies, they do things that you're like, man, I don't like them doing it that way. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that pushed me to create my own, slice of paradise with Apostle Asphalt, and just my outlook is trying to really give back to the customer and sell quality and just, and I think the biggest thing is when I was going through discipleship is pushing towards starting it, and I was talking to my wife. We didn't really have a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
So it was very hard for me, and I was like, man, and especially not to talk about the economic that we're going through right now. That's everybody's
Mm-hmm.
like, you are crazy trying to start a company up right now. Diesel was like $6 a gallon. That was back in Tennessee.
Yeah.
At that time, I think it was like $8 here.
Well, tell the viewers what happened your first year because you told me yesterday when we were chatting at the office about you picked the year where normally you get 6 inches of snow and
Yeah, definitely. But so Maryville, Tennessee, we get like 6 inches of snow a year. We don't we
max,
get
and that's
yeah
consistent.
we get some dustings. Usually by lunch, it's burned away. You'll get like one or two like heavy like 3-4 inches, and that's it. And then I started the company. It was in February, like the end of February. I remember like, okay, this is it. I was feeling good.
You're ready
for
to
myself,
go.
Ready to
Got
go.
all your equipment ready.
Yeah, I got the equipment, and I swear there was like 6 inches. 6-inch storm came in, and it lasted like 3 days. It was just nothing but snow. I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" I started laughing because it's faith based, and we're getting ready to work. I finally started getting some work called in, and we're getting ready to start seal coating because season was finally here. And then we get another late dusting of 6 inches. Like, man, you just can't win. You don't.
Yeah. Go figure, right?
Yeah, go figure. Invest all your money you have to open a company. I had a full tank of seal, and here we are waiting. But I think that just shows faith. I had faith in doing it, and I listened to him, and we're pretty successful this year, I believe.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people told me that we're crazy, and we actually had a lot of clientele, a lot of customers this year, and still got maybe about 6-7 more weeks to this season. So.
Nice.
I still got some days to work.
Yeah,
and I still
that's
got
good.
some clients. I still got bids that just got signed while I was here.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
go
No,
home
I
and get
think,
to work.
and I mentioned it several times in several of the other episodes that I really believe that when it comes to running a business, starting a business, continuing to operate, because we're always tempted.
Yeah.
There's one episode that I know you haven't seen yet because it hasn't been aired yet, but they're going through 2008, 2009, 2010. There's always temptation out there. There's
Yeah.
always temptation to, well, instead of paving 3, why don't we go 2.5?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're like, man, I could really use that cash right now.
Well,
I
and
got
like
payroll on Friday.
we were talking about the other day, or showing up to somebody's job where they said, you know what, I don't really have the money to do an overlay. I just really want you to coat it. And the asphalt's completely just gone away. It's not going to last. And it's like, what do you do? Because you really need the money. Do you do it or do you not? And I've always learned, take a step back, tell the customer, save that money for next year and do the right thing. That's don't just go out there and paint it black because it's going to be a waste of money. It's going to fall apart.
For sure.
You're not going to be happy with it. You're going to be calling me, and we've been everybody's been in that situation.
Yeah,
when
sure.
the customer don't get what they want and they're frustrated, they're going to call. So,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
and I think that's one thing that you told me when I first opened my doors is the one advice I could tell you is be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest with your customers, and
Yeah.
they'll see that.
Yeah.
And that's what we've always done.
Well, and that's the thing. That's still when I go out on a sales call, even to this day, and I'll tell the people this, and I don't have a problem telling my customers or telling anybody. I look at everything as if I own that property.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I'm taking my 30 something years of knowledge, you're taking your 20 something years worth of knowledge, and you're bestowing that upon the people. Hey guys, knowing what I know, because they think, I mean, they Google some stuff and
Yeah,
they looked at
definitely. Yeah,
pictures.
Google.
They think they're Google experts, but they don't really know the ins and outs. They don't really know what the final outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
You say, hey guys, man, I mean, if this were my home, knowing what I know, having the experience I have, you know, this is what I would do. This
Yeah.
is, you know, this is not what I would do because of A, B, and C, and this is what I would do because of A, B, and C, and yeah, and just be straight with people. And
Yeah, definitely. And I had a couple customers this year where I was even up front with how right now seal coat's $3.80 a gallon. You know, that's last year.
uncut.
That's uncut.
Uncut.
That's,
how much?
That's concentrate.
Yeah, concentrate.
$3.80 a gallon.
Oh man, I thought it was expensive here in California.
Yeah, no. So and
Holy moly.
that's just coal tar out of Sealmaster. So and like a lot of customers, I tell them, you know, like, because right now when you have a small driveway, that costs a lot of money for you know the gallons, and they're like, man, you know, 3 years ago it only cost like $400. It's like, well, yeah, but that's how much product is, and then not to mention diesel and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it's like, hey man, just your driveway looks good, just hold it out till next year, because hopefully if everything starts coming down, you get a better price.
For sure. Yeah.
And if a better price comes on, I'll give you a call. I'll let you know when things start coming down.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all. Really, at the end of the day, that's all you can do.
Yeah, because to have a business, we're here for the customer. You know, that's where we're here to please the customers, and that's my goal is to make sure they're happy, they get what they wanted, and
Yeah.
you know, because like you said, you do things like it's your own house, and I want to treat people the way I would like to be treated. You know?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I know you're going to remember from all those safety meetings we did over the years, but one thing that I always reiterate to the guys on our Monday morning safety meetings is and I'll use the same thing, because this is something that most men can understand. You know, when you talk to people about the golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated, yada yada. It's hard to really interpret that, to internalize that. But you know what I've been and I'm sure you're going to remember what I tell the guys. I say, guys, do the job like it's for your mama,
Yeah.
or your grandmother. You know, most guys aren't going to screw over their mama.
No.
They're not going to screw over their mama. They're not going to
yeah.
screw over their grandmother. Do the job like it was. You know,
Yeah.
if the guys and my guys aren't perfect, as we all know. But if they go do a job for somebody, they're not going to leave bottles and Coke
Yeah, definitely,
cans
yeah.
on. You know, and if a contractor came over to their mama's house and the contractor left stuff all over the place,
Yeah, their
they would call him.
Yeah, jackets.
They'd be the
bottles,
first one.
asphalt.
Budro would be the first one to call. Hey, come pick up your crap.
Yeah.
But why is it that he's the first one to leave crap on people's jobs,
Yeah,
right? So
definitely.
anyway, so that's what I try to tell the guys. I know it's in one ear and out the other, but sometimes, you know, it's not. You know, you say something enough times, sometimes
Yeah,
it sticks.
sometimes
it sticks.
So, or at least hopefully it sticks to the ones around them to kind of help pick up, you know, and that's what I've always had luck on, is having a select few guys that did take the time that would, at the end of the job, would walk around, pick things up, and
Yeah.
you know, you still have the guys that've been there for a while and they're like, you know, I've been here forever, you know, it's
Yeah.
not my job.
Well,
You're
and I
like,
mean,
well,
I know I'm gonna digress a little bit, but at the end of the day, and you mentioned it a little bit, at the end of the day, it starts with management. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you being the supervisor or me being the owner, or when you were the supervisor for me, and me the owner, if the guys see you and I out there picking up cans,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean that
It says a lot.
says a lot without saying anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the days out when we were paving, you never went out there just to stand there and watch. You're definitely on the paver, you're on the roller, you're on a rake, on a shovel, and I mean that's something that I always held true with, especially the last company I was at. I was never one to just stand there and to watch. You know, that's
Right.
I like being on things, and leadership. That's what it is showing them how you want it done, not
Right.
telling them.
Exactly
you know?
right,
And
yeah.
they see you doing it. If they see you shoveling, they're thinking, well, my boss is over there shoveling, I better grab a shovel, or else I'm going to be let go, or that's
Well,
I want a promotion, and here he is busting his hump and not doing nothing. He's
No, you're right. Well, there's lots of books out there on leadership. There's lots of books out there on teaching people how to be a good manager, be a good leader. But there's one quote that I read, and it said the best type of leader is a leader that is indistinguishable from its followers. And that's how I like to be. I mean, if I'm out, like you said, if I'm out there on the crew paving, I mean, I don't want the person to know, oh, the owner's out here on the machine. I want to be indistinguishable from the rest of the guys. Yeah. I wear my Ramsey beanie, I put my head down, and let's go, let's pave. Yeah. And so that's been kind of been my management style is, let's be, and even to this day, when I go out there and I look at jobs, I don't introduce myself as, it might be like when they talk to Laura at the office. Hey, who was that guy that came out? Oh, it's the owner. What the heck? Oh my God! It was then they're starstruck.
Now they're thinking, now they're thinking different.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, all right. So, simple question: did you have a business plan?
Yes, I did. Before we started everything, me and Raina sat down and we talked about what we wanted this year to look like, and we talked about finances. I actually called up a financial advisor that helped me out because I was looking to borrow all this money to get like top of the line stuff, and he told me, no, man. He looked at my credit. He said, your credit's fine, everything's fine, but what you're doing, it'd probably be best just to go get something to start and just start out that way, and maybe in 2 years. Then you can start upgrading all your equipment, because you being just starting in business, you don't really have a lot of business credit. So when you go out to try to finance, and at the time a Silwright 700-gallon tank was $42,000. So he said, you're going to be paying on that, which he explained, it is good to have debt as a company.
You need it for the layoff.
But to start off with debt is never good because you don't know what you're going to go through. And I said, you know what, that's right. That way wintertime comes. Right now I have a trailer payment and a truck payment. So my winter is in, and right now I have my winter set up where I should be fine to be able to start in March. But he told me you got to make sure you have a little breadbasket to be able to get through winter. That way after 2 years you should be more established. You'll see what kind of overhead you have. And then you could start updating your stuff. You could start getting what you need. And
especially, and that's for the viewers out there. So I'm a California boy my whole life.
Yeah.
So for us, and a lot of people, a lot of customers, like especially this time of year, we're in October of 2023, 2022. It's been a long day. We're in October 2022. And when I'm going out on my sales calls right now, I'm reminding people, hey, if it's a seal coat, hey, we need to make a decision pretty quick here.
Yeah, definitely.
And so a lot of, or chip seal, hey, we need to make a decision pretty quick here. We only have about 6 more weeks worth of work left, maybe 4 weeks worth of work left. And so that's what a lot of people are surprised. They're like, well, how do you survive in the wintertime? And I said, well, we're still grading and paving. That's not a big deal. We grade and pave. So being a California boy my whole life, now I have to empathize with you because legitimately, if you don't have something saved, you're at McDonald's. Yeah, so literally, you're going to be at McDonald's.
In Tennessee, the weather, it drops around November, and we'll be getting 40-degree days to like 10-degree mornings. So there is absolutely no...
Oh, you're not doing nothing.
No, nothing. The only thing you can do through wintertime, you'll get some hot days. And when I say hot, I'm talking about like maybe 55 degrees per day. So you might be able to sneak over, get a couple tons of asphalt, do some patching,
fill holes.
We've, when I worked for that last company, we did a couple paving jobs during wintertime. And it was more or less, it wasn't because we needed to, it's because the customer, they're shutting down and it's the only time they could really get paving done. So, and then we told them, it's going to be cold. It'd be better doing the summertime, and this is our only shot. So we have done paving jobs in the cold, and it's miserable. It's hard, but
you got to work. Yeah,
you got to get it done.
Well, that's what I tell. Customers call me and they're like, "Oh man, it's 1,000 degrees outside. You're poor guys, blah blah blah." And I say, "No, don't." And I could never say this if I didn't have the experience I have, but I say, "Hey man, don't feel bad for my guys. We would rather be doing it right now than in December."
Yeah.
Because, there's times, and I'll tell the viewers, which they're not going to believe, but, there's times in the summertime where, you're going at a steady pace, you don't even really break a sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're paving in December or January or February or November here in California, you're wearing a hoodie, you're wearing a beanie, and you are working so hard and so fast, you are drenched.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so cold outside, you're totally drenched because you have to work so fast to get this.
Yeah, well, and that's with working with hot asphalt in the summertime. You could stand back really quick and get a drink of water because your product's going to stay hot.
Yeah.
So when you're raking edges and doing that, you don't tend to have to worry about getting it done so quick.
Right.
Wintertime, like you said, you're working really fast because you only got like 30 seconds to get that roller on what you're doing.
Yeah.
So paver's going, you're right behind raking really hard, then you got the roller behind you. So
Yeah.
But
really.
Summertime, I tell everybody too, how can you do that? Well, I'm already standing over 330 degree mix.
Right.
So, I mean, it being 110 outside, I don't really feel it too much because I feel the heat of the asphalt. So the guys that are walking around with the rakes and shovels, they feel it because they don't stand on the paver.
Exactly.
So they don't have that hot screed.
Well, and like I've said in other shows, I mean, you have the people don't realize, I mean, when you're on the machine, you've got the asphalt in front of you, literally underneath you, and then all around you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on the machine, if you're on the paver or you're on the roller, you're not getting away from it.
No.
There's no way of getting away from it.
And then the roller's another beast because you're adding water to the asphalt, so now you're getting all the humidity off the asphalt, all that steam coming off of it. So you really can't get away from it on the roller.
You're in a sauna all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So moving on, next question. This is a question about office bookkeeping experience. Well, I'll combine those two. So, do you or Raina, your wife, do you either one of you have office experience?
Raina does.
Raina
has booking experience and office experience, and I walked in when we were talking about QuickBooks, and that is definitely an awesome tool. Like you said, you could put whatever you need in it, and it just tells you where you're at, where your taxes are going to be, where everything is. So, but I was definitely blessed with Raina because that's all she's done has been office.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, that covers those two questions. So I guess this is a general question. How's it been? So what year was officially you started in 21?
No. So my official date is like February 29th of this year was the day that my business license.
22.
Yep. When I established my EIN number.
Yep.
Was on February 29th, 22.
Okay. So how's your first year been?
It's been really good. We talked about business plans. When I first opened my doors, we sat down. We put a lot of goals in front of us where we wanted to be. One of them was I had a sill tank and I had a striping machine, and that was it. I didn't have nothing else. So we were talking about, well, we'd really like to go in the wintertime with patching equipment. Mm-hmm. And I foreseen it maybe being until next year that I'd be able to afford to have a dump trailer, a vibra plate, just the general equipment. And we were able to get that in June. Wow. Only like 3 months. I think 3 months through the season when I started working, we're actually making enough where we could afford that payment, and we ended up financing the trailer. And I think we're doing pretty good. And we were laughing about it earlier when we were talking about having those customers that I'm asphalt maintenance, but then when they see maintenance, they generally think everything. So I have a customer that I'm not just doing striping and paving and stuff. I'm demoing rooms and picking up trash and you got to find things to keep you going. And what we talked about it being awesome is he's working with me where he's like, you know what? I got some rooms to demo. I got some guards to put on the ground. I got bollards to install, and we're going to wait till winter time for you because you'll be slowed down. You won't have a lot of seal jobs and stripings going on, and at least that'll get you through your winter. So it's been a blessing to meet this client to get that for me.
Heck yeah. Well, and I think I always go back to that in business, if you set out to do the right thing, if you have the faith, if you have thick enough skin and you have this undying faith knowing that it's all going to work out.
Yeah.
It absolutely, now, and I said in other episodes, I don't know how that works. It's the universe. It's higher power.
Well, see, and I
whatever it
always
is,
question you too, because there's times where you're telling me, hey, we're paving today, and it's like, hey, Scott, they're calling 100% chance of rain, and you're like, oh no, you got to go pave, and we get there, and it's like, seriously, you look up and it's like just sunshine around us, and you're like, it's raining everywhere else. I'm like, who's he praying to? But yeah, we always joked about that because it was like everybody's excited for rain, and you're like, no, we're paving. Wherever we worked, it never rained on us.
Yeah, or there was a couple times where we were paving, and as we're, the office calls, hey, it just started raining in Santa Maria. Okay, we got 3 more trucks we're gonna put down, and then we're Simon's rolling.
Yeah.
He's doing the finished rolling, and we're loading the paver on the trailer, and then here it comes.
Yeah, because I don't I don't
man.
remember any jobs working with you that we actually got like just rained out on a job.
Mm-mm.
So and there's been a lot of jobs where they're calling for rain, and you look at the thing and you say, oh no, we'll be fine, we'll make it, and we always did too. So that's called faith right there.
That is faith.
That is faith.
Yeah,
you gotta have faith in it.
So how are you looking? Because this goes back to one of our earlier episodes we did. How are you looking at and controlling profit margins, overhead?
So right now, that's the one thing in business I haven't really, and I don't know because you can probably answer this for me. I haven't made myself a paycheck on anything. So everything I've been doing, I've been controlling my profit. We've been putting ahead, and we've been using. I've been trying to keep 20%, but then as I make enough, I've been buying things to try to invest into the company. Mm-hmm. So, and that's one thing being so small. I want to see my company grow. We've been doing all right. It's been paying pretty much for my truck payment. It's been paying my house payment and everything because that's where I'm working out of my house. So everything we're making is just going right back in the company, trying to grow it a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, no, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I say that with tongue in cheek. I mean, 25 years later, that's how I still am.
Perfect. Then I'm doing something.
Really, that's how I mean, the guys that work for me, my friends, I mean, they think, oh my God, Scott, you've grown this company this big, but I don't have anything. I have zero. Everyone thinks I'm sitting on millions of dollars, and I know literally I don't have anything because I'm constantly growing this thing. And you talk about costs. I mean, I remember 15 years ago, you could buy a 10-wheeler for $125,000. Now, today, that same truck is $225,000.
Yeah,
right.
Well, even a paver, because I think that brand new paver you bought at that time was around like $120,000. And I was looking at a brand new paver, and they're like $180,000 just for that same paver.
Almost $200,000.
Almost $200,000.
Exactly.
So I was like, oh, it's a lot of money, and I know one day we'll get there where we can just get it. But I think that's one thing I've been trying to do is I have about 20% over for my material costs, and if just in case I got a big enough job I could afford it, and then I got like another 20% that's going to be funding for my taxes and anything else, like all my licensing and everything.
Yeah,
when I start back up.
Like your overhead.
My overhead.
So you have your, like I talked in another episode, you've got a good handle on your overhead costs.
Yeah.
Which your overhead is for you. It would definitely be your house because you're not on salary yet.
No.
So it would definitely be your house payment, truck payment, keep the lights on.
Yep.
That's your overhead.
Yep.
So you got to figure out, okay, you're doing X amount in a year. Mm-hmm. Well, X amount a year, you got to cover your overhead to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
But then you have to have extra money to
start back up.
Well, to feed the boys.
Yeah, to feed the boys.
You got 3 boys. You got to keep the boys.
Rita has an 8 to 5 job too on top of this, so.
Also, that helps.
Yeah, that helps a lot. She does my books, and then she's also been working because that's one thing we talked about opening the company is like she was a stay-at-home mom at the time, and before that, that's when she did a lot of office work. So I told her going into this, we definitely need to have something stable, especially for the winter time because you never know. So. And she did. She found a stay-at-home working online, and
nice.
She does that at home. So she has 2 computers, and then she has my computer.
Right.
So she switches over to my computer, types whatever up, and then she's back on her computer doing her work for the day.
No, but I wasn't really joking. Like if a California boy like me went to Tennessee and I wasn't really prepared for it. Oh man, and I'd be at McDonald's or Home Depot in the wintertime.
DoorDash.
DoorDash.
Yeah. That's what.
Yeah, seriously.
We've been talking about it too. If it gets that rough, I'll definitely, because when we moved to Tennessee Raina DoorDash, and it actually helped us get familiar with the town. So,
yeah, you learned the city.
yeah,
real well.
definitely.
Yeah.
And she made pretty good money for what she was doing. So we'd go on
Nice.
the weekends, we'd drive around and really get to see all the innards of the city.
Nice. So I think you answered this other question. Did you obtain a loan to start? You didn't.
No, I didn't.
But you bought in some. You've
Yeah,
purchased
definitely.
some trailers.
I had from my previous company, I had some money saved up, and then also I sold a camping trailer. That's what really got my seal tank. But that bought my seal tank, and then the money I saved over 2021 is what got me in for my overhead to pay for like my first tank of seal.
Nice.
That also bought my striping machine, my paint, and everything. So.
Good. Did you have to hire? Was it? Well, you got your dad. You got
I got my
Raina.
dad, yep.
Because you posted some videos. You and Raina started out.
Raina helps me pretty much on the weekends.
Okay.
If it's a big enough job, she has paid vacation as long as she put in for it. So she'll put in for vacation time and help me on the bigger jobs.
Nice.
And then I have a couple buddies back home too. I help out. Excuse me. I help out another company as well. He's starting paving, so. There's already been 3 jobs where I helped him, and then he's been helping me. So him and his helper are there.
And then your pops is there.
Yep, my dad's been there.
You're gonna break your dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna break him with
Well, your dad,
the gator patch.
Yeah, his dad's old Ramsey alumni as well, and yeah, between me and Timmy, we're gonna break his dad for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's the first job he helped me on because
God.
when he was with Ramsey Asphalt, he was the QC guy.
Correct.
He went out and met the customers, looked at the jobs, he collected the checks, and also
did little touch-ups. And
if
patches,
there's little touch-ups,
yeah.
he'd be out there. So he always had a bucket of gator patch, and had buckets of seal and stuff. So the first
Yeah.
job he helped me at, we get there and we jump off, and the driveway was pretty pristine, but there's 2 alligators.
Okay.
So I grabbed the gator patch and I set it down and I said, "Hey, Dad, you remember this stuff?" And he's like, "No, not that stuff." And he started laughing.
God.
He actually took a picture and sent it to Scott.
Yeah.
Like, "Are you kidding? I
Yeah.
cannot get away from this product."
I know, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, what are you thinking for next year based on your backlog for next year? You think you're going to have to bring on any full-time guys? Or
I'm thinking next year.
Have one guy join?
Yes. Me and my wife talked about it. Next year, I'm definitely probably going to start off with 1 helper. And then my goal, I'm probably going to be getting a Bobcat because I've been doing a decent amount of asphalt work, patching. And if I get a Bobcat, at least I could start working into dig outs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
For sure.
But
Nice. So what would you do? So let's just call it a year in. Would you do anything differently? Looking back?
looking back, I don't know. I think everything's been pretty successful. Probably wouldn't stress as much because I learned I would beat my head on the wall and just stress so bad over things, and it always worked out pretty good. And I think that always goes back to faith.
It always goes back to faith, man.
And that's what he always tells us too: have faith in him, and
Yeah.
he'll provide. He'll bless us, and I think that's the only thing is to not stress as much and just kind of enjoy it. That's going into business. That's one thing I've learned is we only live one life.
Mm-hmm.
So why not do what you can to better yourself and have a company? So we've been doing that, and there's been times where I have to take a step back and just look around and just smile. That's what you created.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, as most people know, people that are close to me, you, Timmy, Shane, most people that know, I'm not necessarily a very religious guy, and sometimes I get a potty mouth on me, but I kind of cherry pick little phrases and things I like from different religions among the world, and one quote that I heard that I really internalized this year, and Shane and I were talking about it a couple weeks ago. It says, "God's gift to us is life."
Mm-hmm.
Now, how we live that life is our gift back to God.
Yeah.
So, it's a nice little quote that, and it's really true. It's
Yeah,
really
definitely
true.
it is.
How we're living our life is our gift back. And, we're blessed with abundance. And on your point of not stressing so much, you are a different guy going into the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You're a different guy. You will forever be changed.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, and I know, and over the years the stresses will get different. Like I'd be stressing. My first job was only maybe 1,000 square foot. I was stressing about getting it done. You know, that's nothing. But when you're by yourself, that's a lot. That's
Right.
like one handicap, I think 6 lines, and I think not even 25 gallons of seal coat. You know, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, how am I going to get this? And got out there, got it done, and I don't know why I stressed. And
Yeah.
here at the end, I'm doing these parking lots that are like 50 lines and
Yeah.
300 gallons of seal, and I was like, man, I can't believe I really stressed about that first
Right.
job I did.
Exactly.
You know, how small it was. It took me literally like 3 hours to get it done, and everything went right. So, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So we're 2 more questions, and then this is going to be a long one, Shane. Sorry about that. 2 more questions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself? Where do you see the company?
So this is an awesome question, because this is a question that me and my wife, ever since we've been married, almost every year we ask ourselves that. Where will we be in 5 years? And my goal in 5 years is definitely to have a paver, have a couple dump trucks, have a little crew, and have an actual paving company. So, and that's what I'm holding. I want to try to have it quicker than that, but I mean, I'm just going to have faith. You know,
Mhm.
I've got this far already, put my faith in him, so I know one day I will be there.
Mhm. Well, and I think that financial advice, because I mean, I've over the years, I built Ramsey Asphalt just really based on letting it grow organically.
Yeah.
I mean, I have never had partners. I mean, obviously, I've had just like you. I've had loans on paving machines and loans on trucks and stuff. But really, aside from what the bank will lend me, that's really, if I was telling the story the other day that if I want, if at a point where I wanted a new truck, I'd go talk to the banker. Hey, I want a new truck, and he would run my credit and look at my profit and loss and all that. Nope, you don't need the truck this year. Okay, I guess I won't be getting the truck this year.
Yeah, definitely.
I would let them tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're not getting the truck this year. Maybe next year. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. And hang up.
And that's the thing, because I don't have a lot of money, and I don't want to go out and borrow a bunch of money from somebody, because then you're looking at interest and more interest on top of interest when you're borrowing for the paver and then the jobs and the guy. So like you said, I want to get it organically, and not to mention I want to train my guys, and you probably went through that too, is having a couple guys that, coming in didn't really know too much, and you train them the way you really like it.
For sure.
And not to mention the ones that will come in and say they know everything in the world, and they want that big price tag of a salary, and to find out they don't.
And they really don't know.
They don't know. So, I'm hoping next year I have a couple guys, and we're doing dig outs and seal coating, just glorified asphalt maintenance, and just start climbing till the asphalt to paving.
Well, and I think and this is something I've learned over the years, just by being forced to allow Ramsey Asphalt to grow organically. I've been forced to kind of let the customer tell me, I guess the right word would say, let the customer tell me how we're going to be growing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I started out exactly like you. You've seen the picture in my office where I'm a skinny little kid.
Well, actually, I started like you, because you started before me.
Yeah, well, that's true. but just a truck and a striping, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then the customers, hey, I'd like you to pave for me. Well, I can go rent a paver from John Maxwell or Frank Daniels, and I can rent a paver, and okay, yeah, come over and pave it for me. And the customers kind of dictate your plan. The customer.
Yeah. Well, don't tell me that, because I've been getting a lot of calls on concrete, and I don't really want to do concrete.
Well,
but I mean, that's what
maybe.
makes it
Yeah, maybe there's a need there.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe there's a need. Yeah. So.
But no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, that's definitely. I think that's how we are growing too. Is just going off of what we're getting calls on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the last question, I should have read the first question before I read the second. But how are your goals aligning with that plan? And I think you've already kind of answered it. You've got a plan 4 or 5 years down the road, which, knowing you and working with you literally side by side for so many years, me personally, I don't think it's going to take you 5 years.
Yeah.
For that plan. I don't think it's going to take you 5 years, and that's just because I'm an outsider looking in, and I know you, and I know you, and like you said, starting your own business, you have these weird insecurities that come out like you're in first grade again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How am I going to do this 1,000 square foot little thing?
Yeah.
And then you're like nervous and, oh, that's not so bad. And
No.
then, you know, and
I
then,
mean, and it's funny because we had a job, we do 1.2 million square foot at Walmart.
mm-hmm,
Vandenberg Air Force Base was like 600,000 square foot, but it was a double pass.
Mhm.
And here I am just worried, stressing about something so small.
yeah, but I mean, it's true. I mean, Timmy, honestly, I still get to that point, you know, days where I still have to go out and pave with the guys, or I still feel the butterflies in my stomach,
Yeah.
and I'm nervous. Like, why do I, you know, I'll go home and I'll tell Lisa, why do I feel like this? Or, you know, it's something I've done a million times, and I still, but I think it's one of those things where when you're nervous, you'll always do a little better.
Yeah.
So if you never lose that nervousness, and that's the thing I told Shane with this new podcast, this new venture we're doing with all this, I want to keep the childlike wonder in it to where we're a little nervous every time, because I mean I really truly feel when you're nervous, even when I go out and I feel like I'm meeting a big customer, I'm still nervous a little bit about it. So anyway, I think you always do a little better, but. Yeah, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah,
and
thanks for having me.
Thanks for being our first guest
Yeah.
on. I'm gonna make sure I get it right this time. Ramsey Rock and Roads. So anyway, thank you guys. Thanks, Timmy. Travel safe back home.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.